So let's draw the ray diagram for this scenario that we just now saw, where the object was at focal length. So here is the object, and let's focus on a small point of this object, and that's how we usually draw the ray diagram. So a ray from that point comes, whatever ray comes parallel to the principal axis has to pass through the focus. So here you see that this ray passes through the focus, and a ray that goes through the center of curvature also goes straight. So if you have got your measurements right, then you will see that this ray will exit parallel, almost parallel to this ray, right? So these two rays are parallel when you look at them from a short distance, but when the distance becomes very large, we'll see that they will converge at a far away distance, based on where the object is. Now before we look at that, let's apply the lens formulae and see what happens when the object is at focus. So it's 1 by v minus 1 by u equal to 1 by f. For this focal length is 10 centimeters. So your u is minus 10 centimeters. So let's apply this equation and see what happens. 1 by v minus 1 by minus 10 equal to 1 by 10. In other words, 1 by v plus 1 by 10 equal to 1 by 10, and we have, in other words, 1 by v is 1 by 10 minus 1 by 10, or v is, this is 0, is 1 by 0, or it tends to infinity or very large distance. Now, but you may be wondering, but we did see an image in the wall, which is the image of the filament. Now, how is that possible? Now, to understand that, let's try to imagine that instead of u being 10, which is this distance, u being minus 10, let u be equal to minus 10.1 centimeters, which is very close to the focus but not exactly focus. So in such a case, you will get 1 by v minus 1 by u. When you substitute it in this equation, you will have 1 by v minus 1 by minus 10.1 equal to 1 by 10. And here again you can see that this and this is very close, but still they are not exactly the same. You will have 1 by v is 1 by 10 minus 1 by 10.1, and you will get v is approximately, you will get v as close to 10 meters. You will get this v as 1000 centimeters actually when you calculate this. So this would imply that v is 1000 centimeters, and or in other words, v is 10 meters. So you can calculate this and check for yourself. Now what's important here is when u is tending to f, then that means that u is very close to f, then your image is tending to large distance compared to focal length. Here you can see that large distance is about 1000 centimeters. So we say that in other words, when u tends to f, v tends to infinity. Now another way to visualize this is that when you have when you look at this point as not exactly F but very close to F, then these rays will converge at a very, very far away distance. So let's extend that distance. Let's extend that, and very far away when compared to the focal length. And what you see is a really magnified image, which is, so we say this is highly magnified, and this is real and inverted. That's the characteristics of this image when U tends to F and V tends to infinity. Now, of course, your magnification is also given by I by O, and image size by object size, and that is V by U. So let's say when your V is very large, when V is, let's say, approximately infinity or tending to infinity, and U is let's say 10 centimeters, or let's so we say the magnification is also tending towards infinity, right? So the magnification of the image will be very large compared to object, right? Oh, there's one thing that to remember, this is minus sign, so so your magnification will be inverted. So this is minus infinity, right? So this is minus tending to minus infinity. So image is very large compared to object and inverted. So that's what you get. In this example that we did just here, you can substitute and find out what will be your magnification. So in this case, the magnification will be approximately V by U. So that is 1000 divided by U is 10.1. You can say this will be minus 10.1. This will be approximately minus 100. Still, the point is this is very large. So compared to object. So many times in physics, we tend to communicate saying that when U is at F, we say, most textbooks would say when U at F, then V at infinity. And so we now know that what they're really implying is when U tends to F, V tends to infinity, and M is very large. So that's what we mean. So I hope this makes sense to you. Now going back to our learning goals, we saw how the image was formed when the object is at focal length. We checked the ray diagrams and we applied the lens formulae and found the magnification. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please try to recapture your learning goals in your notebook by yourself, and if you get stuck, please go back to this video or ask questions in the comments. See you until the next one. Ciao. Welcome to this video, a series of videos on refraction through lens. In this video, we're going to look at the use case of object at focus for convex lens. Before we start, a quick recap. In the previous video, we looked at what happens when the object is at infinity or very far away, and we also looked at the lens equation and the idea of magnification. So we continue to use both these equations to analyze what happens when an object is at focus in this video. So first, let's see a demo of what happens when the object is at focal length. This is the experimental setup for our experiment with convex lens. So here our bulb is our light source, the filament of the bulb, and you can see the filament is in the form of U or in the form of W, and here we have this lens, and the screen is something we can control, bring forward the screen or backwards using a piece of paper. So initially we are going to try to get the image of this bulb onto the wall. So let's switch on. Okay, so you can see that now the image is formed on the screen at infinity, and as you can see, this image is not in the form of W or U. You can clearly see that this is in the form of N. So this is clearly inverted, and this image is highly enlarged. So since this distance is quite a large distance as you compare with the distance between the lens and the bulb, we consider that screen distance as infinity or very large, and the distance between the lens and the filament is here 10 centimeters. So this is the focal length of this lens, because the image is formed approximately at infinity.